Governor Chris Sununu, thanks so much for taking the time
Thank
to
you.
join us here. We really do appreciate it. The message that Republicans put forward in the midterm elections outside of a few select areas didn't resonate the way you hoped to. Why and what lessons can be drawn?
I think people forget that part of the message are the candidates, and candidate quality matters, and who's delivering the message is part of that message. And so you can't separate the two. And unfortunately, we had some very extreme and ultimately unelectable candidates running in November. So the message isn't that we have to course correct or violently change who we are or what we're about, but let's get back to our basics. Limited government, right? Local control, low taxes, individual freedoms and responsibilities. Those have been at the core of the Republican Party for decades and served us very, very well. So let's just get back to those basic I think treatments. Enough of the, sometimes we have big government Republicans sometimes out there. And I think we just got to get back to saying, look, we talk about empowering the individual. We got to fulfill on that. We have to actually deliver results that put individuals first, that respect what they want for their families and their schools and their businesses. And if we do that, we can get the results and people vote on results. Voters are smart and they vote on results.
There are a lot of folks that want to take the helm in 2024 that are here this weekend. Who's best positioned to deliver that message that you're talking about?
Yeah, so I think you're going to see probably a dozen people get into the race in 24. We are really far away from that. We are. I don't think you're going to see many of them officially jump into that race till maybe next summer, depending on the debate schedule. And the whole world could be politically very different between now and next summer, and then next summer to the first of the nation primary in New Hampshire in early 24. So we're like 10 days right now past an election. I think we got to let the dust settle a little bit, spend some time with our families, enjoy some time at the holidays and Hanukkah and Christmas, and just kind of get back to what's important, which is family, right, and our faith, and just letting the political dust settle. And then I think in 23 you'll see a little bit of a sifting out. But everybody who wants to run is going to run. No one's going to stay out of this. I think you're going to have an open race on the Democrat side too. I do not think Joe Biden will be running. I think it'll be like piranhas in the water on the Democrat side. There'll be the liberal elite of Washington, which frankly don't respect Joe Biden. Can't wait for him to get out of the race, and then they'll all be like vipers to jump in. So it's going to be a kind of a wide open 24. But it's got to be about the candidate. It's got to be about us as individuals in terms of what we're going to deliver. The messenger matters, and I think we just get back to ensuring that winning in a primary doesn't matter unless you can close the deal in November. It's just that simple.
We talked not we, but the media, generally speaking, talked for a couple years about governorships, mayorships, the House and the Senate at the state level, committees at the state level. That talk kind of disappeared during the midterm elections. How important is it, going back now on the postmortem, to see who has control at the state level and what they can do with it going forward on behalf of the party?
So, obviously there's going to be a lot of attention on 2024. I'm a big believer in governors and mayors, executives. I'm a CEO, right? That we're CEOs. The policymakers of the Senate and Congress are very important, but it's also a very different role and position. I'm a huge believer that whoever the next president is, it should be a governor or a mayor or someone with executive level decision-making experience. One of the problems with Joe Biden is he never actually managed anything. I mean, he really hasn't. So he comes at it from a policy or political point of view, but not in terms of how do I negotiate and get something done? How do I give a little to get a lot? And there's a huge opportunity there that we just haven't fulfilled on in terms of leadership. I think that leadership out of the White House then can dictate the opportunities in Congress, can lead, not be in charge of the Senate, of course, or the House, but can lead by example to say, okay, let's negotiate, let's get it done. We want immigration reform here. We need to secure that border. We need healthcare reform. I mean, last time I checked, governors balance a budget. It'd be great if the federal government took a page out of our playbook because it's important. The economic illiteracy of Washington is at a staggering level. They literally don't really understand $1 billion, $1 trillion, what's the big deal? And we've had too long, both parties have been at fault of that, by the way. But as an executive, as a CEO, every dollar matters. Fiscal responsibility, getting the biggest bang for your buck in your government programs matters. And if you redesign this, I'm an engineer, so I love redesigning. I love the numbers. I love challenging ourselves to think of it in a little bit out of the box in a different way. That's what I think governors and mayors bring to the table, and hopefully that message will resonate more, not just with whoever's running for president, but all the way down our ticket, all the way to the planning board level, right to the school board level. It's not just about politics and policy. It's about willing to step up, try something new. You got to deliver the results at the end of the day. And if you do, you'll be rewarded.
Governor DeSantis in Florida was able to turn the Hispanic vote in this past election cycle. Lee Zeldin, Republican candidate in New York, was able to turn the Jewish vote this cycle as well. How do you, as a party, target minority groups like the Jewish vote, like the Hispanic vote, turn them in your favor? Is it simply bread and butter issues, or do there need to be certain messages that are directed at those specific audience, like the Jewish base?
So I don't think it's a specific message to those audiences, but you have to engage those audiences one-on-one at their level, in their living rooms, in their businesses. Treat them as the individuals they are, because they're empowered. And you have to let them feel that empowerment. Their vote matters. Their voice matters. Too often we talk up here, right? So you got to engage with them on their issues. And what are their issues? They'll tell you. We have to stop telling people what their issues need to be. They're going to tell us what their issues are. And what their issue in the Hispanic community in Florida might be very different than the issues of a Jewish community in New York, right? And so every state's a little bit different. That's why this kind of big top-down, one-size-fits-all out of Washington never works. And it's almost insulting. It really is. So you got to let good candidates rise up through those ranks. The best way to do it, if you want to engage with a Jewish community in New York, let's find good Republican Jewish candidates in New York to engage on those issues, because they've walked the walk, they've talked the talk, they're in the synagogues, they're in that community and engaging with it. And that's very empowering. And we had some great success in New York with that. Same with Florida's a great example. You have the mayor of Miami, Mayor Suarez, a good Republican mayor. He does a great job. He's very pro-business, and he's really engaged that community. You've seen a lot of the Hispanic community in Texas go more red, which is good. So I think nationally you're seeing it's not just Florida, but nationally you're seeing that movement, because it's about their issues. It's about their family and their opportunities. We're not here to solve your problem. Contrary to popular belief, I don't believe government is here to solve your problem. But my job is this: to create as many doors of opportunity for you and your family, your kids, your business, and then you do you. That's the live free or die nature of New Hampshire. You decide what pathway is best for you. We empower that individual by creating opportunities, and then we do what government probably should do more often than not: get the heck out of the way.
Governor Chris Sununu, thank you so much for your time.
This is great. Thank you.